What's up, you guys? Aftershow Reacts here, and today I'm going to be reacting to some more Stargate SG-1. This is season 7, episode 13. Apologies, this was supposed to be done yesterday, but if I'm honest, I just kind of wasn't feeling up for it yesterday. So yeah. I instead decided I'm gonna make Thursday a really difficult one for me. I'm going out later. And I've got to do 2 Stargate, Gotham Knights, Ally McBeal, Grimm, Titans, maybe. It's just like a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm like, cool. It's cool. Why did I do this to myself? Anyways, it's kind of stuffy in here. I might turn my fan on. Hold on. Okay. Right, let's go over the comments from last week's episodes. Just to quickly clarify on the topic of the Jafar symbiotes from last week's discussion. The Jafar are their own species. They are genetically engineered from the human slaves that were taken from Earth originally. They are born Jafar. Once they hit puberty, they require a symbiote. Okay, well, clearly I didn't understand early on in the season, early on in the show when they introduced it. This is my last straw. I have more downstairs, but it's like, what the fuck happened to this shit? Hold on. You can't really see it because it's not focused, but it's like snapped and cut and I don't really know what to do. Maybe I'll be a minute. Alright, I'm all good, sorry. Okay, let's continue with the comments. Now, you brought up a good point about Teal'c wanting to stop his son from being implanted with a symbiote back in season 1, and this is true. And in that episode, that there was a plan. However, when Teal'c's son didn't get a symbiote, he got sick and ended up needing one to save his life. Okay. That was a really long time ago for me. And maybe I just didn't understand it. I don't know. So the question becomes, why did Teal'c want to stop the implantation of his son if his son needed one to survive? The answer is that no one knows. It was never addressed in the episode back in season 1. I suppose you could say Teal'c didn't know because it was never done before. Don't disobey your god or whatever. But again, no one knows, because it was never answered in that episode, so your guess is as good as mine. Okay. I'm out of breath. I just ran up and down the stairs. I'm so unfit. I always took it as the Jafar were born human. When they reach a certain age of implantation, like Ryak in season 1, they create the pouch similar to how Hathor did to Jack. At that point, Jafar lose their immune system. It is something that has never been made clear. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought, but okay. Season 1 definitely made things confusing. However, they are definitely born Jafar, not human. Ishtar said their Goa'uld wanted female Jafar killed immediately after they were born. He had no use for them, so if they were born human, what would be the point in converting them into Jafar and then killing them immediately after? Unfortunately, I cannot reference another episode to support my claim because Shan hasn't seen the episode yet. Okay. At the time, Richard Dean Anderson and the mother of his daughter, Wiley, split up. Filming took place in Vancouver, Canada, and Wiley lived in LA with her mother. He negotiated less screen time to be able to help raise her. Oh, I mean that's good a reason as any. He didn't want to be away from her for too long, for long periods of time while she was still young. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, that's the story I heard. His daughter was getting old enough to realize her dad was gone for long periods of time, so starting with season 6, each time he was up for negotiating a new contract, he asked for less work time so that he could be with his daughter more. Sorry. When I first saw this episode, having a new villain that was immune to all weapons got me excited that a new threat was coming in. Then as soon as Sam said the line, it's a Goa'uld, I felt so let down. Disappointed that a new player wasn't added to the board, but after the initial reaction wore off, the idea of a new foot soldier to replace the Jafar made sense to me. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't really know how we're going to be dealing with them, to be honest, but you know what? We'll figure it out. Only thing worse than an unstoppable army command by an evil force is a gooey, unstoppable army command with an evil force. Yuck. Yeah, no, that was a gross face. If your selectors continue their current courses, you'll see Keith on a couple shows down the road. I think that's vague enough to be okay, an okay statement. Maybe. Yes, I'm curious. Who would win, the first army of Turakan or Anubis' new super soldiers? Well, maybe the Turakans, because I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. That's a good question. Jack would have found Daniel much faster if he called Veronica instead. You're not wrong. We knew Anubis would eventually try to reclaim the power he lost at the beginning of the season. The introduction of the superior soldiers is a perfect way to do it. They are quite overpowered. Each time Anubis' super soldiers kill a minor Goa'uld, Anubis absorbs their army and resources, and the Goa'uld have no way to defend against them. At this rate, he'll be even more powerful than he was before. I hope Goa'uld didn't get too comfortable in his position as top dog. At least we have the device he used to create the super soldiers now. Apparently the Goa'uld sarcophagus technology was invented by studying this ancient device. Anyway, hopefully something new comes out of it now that we have it. You know, I was thinking last episode that, like, despite the fact that, like, we introduced the Lost City, you know, Atlantis, like, at the end of last season, and, like, we haven't really touched upon that. Like, we're not even really looking for it anymore. So what's that about? Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what those comments were about. None of those characters even came close to being similar in comparison to Felga. Felga was barely tolerable like Ergo. In fact, I was getting the sense that perhaps two people decided to sub to just to troll, but in a really weak way, referencing to things like TVD and Buffyverse. Don't mind them fruits. Your annoyance with Felga was justified. I'm not a fan of him either. In fact, I blocked these 2 Felga episodes out of my mind. I'm glad we're past this shit. Me too. Nice. Thanks goes out to Patreon for completely fucking up my notes by changing the question marks to whatever the fuck that was. Some of the things you read made even less sense because of that. Infuriating, yeah. Yeah, I didn't add you doing the Chaka dance to the edit of 709 as Pat suggested, even though that would have vastly improved the episode itself. I did, however, add a pop-up saying Chaka approves of this when you said you were shitting on 709 and that he's thinking of having her collab on his next album. Also, he's probably already edited the episode. Stop it! This is me we're talking about. Of course I've edited the episode. Well, I'm just trying to give you some modesty. I don't know. Alright, crap. I deleted my notes since I figured the explanation given in the comments by someone else was efficient. But here I'll go. Back in season 1, episode Bloodlines, we heard about Ryak. He was soon going to need a symbiote or he would die. Teal'c gave his symbiote to Ryak. Meanwhile, Carter and Daniel were exploring the surrounding area and they stumbled upon a vat filled of symbiotes they were going to take back for study. However, knowing Teal'c would die without one, they gave him one instead. All Jafar were genetically altered by the Goa'uld long time ago to be dependent on symbiotes. It's been that way for generations. They've essentially as much slaves as humans are. The Goa'uld rule over. Those girls would have died with or without a symbiote or Tritonin. Sorry, Fritz, but you're wrong. Well, probably. I'm very wrong a lot of the time. I don't know why I'm out of breath today. Ha! It worked! My note made you wear the glasses. Tony, 1, Shannon, 0. Although you do look cute with the glasses, I suppose you do get a point for that. Damn it, we're even again. I'll get you next time, Fritz. Well, no, you didn't get a point at all because I did it of my own free will. I was gonna do it anyways. So, Shannon 1, no, Shannon 2. Tony 0. Richie Anderson wanted to spend more time with his daughter. He felt like he was missing seeing her grow up. That's why they reduced his shooting schedule. His daughter Wiley was about 5-ish years old during the time of this episode. Okay. The force field intended to stop the Cold Warrior super soldier was probably on loan from the Tok'ra. The device that Carter was using to activate it looked like it could be theirs. Perhaps. Maybe the Cold Warrior just walked past Braytek because he didn't see the old man as a threat. And that's their weakness. Alright, new plan. We send a bunch of old geezers after their asses. Surround them with an army of Opportunomas. They'll start telling them stories about the good old days. And then when they least expect it, they take them out. Boom! Cue to the old geezers shuffling away to the Thug Life theme. You know, the Thug Life. I didn't choose the Thug Life chose me. God, every time I think of that, I just think of the professor in Futurama walking away on the beach with a tattoo that says Thug Life on his back. Anyways. I keep telling you, Fritz, Daniel is the person we need with us in an escape room. This mofo just poured a water canteen and figured out that you and I would not have been able to, which is really quite funny because I'm going to an escape room tonight. It's gonna be bad. Like, I'm gonna be so bad. I'm gonna be asking for hints every 5 seconds. It's gonna be funny. Anyways. Our dumbasses would be still looking for the writing and hidden buttons and shit. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, Fritz, some Honduran guy gets shot in the rainforest and you're like, poor guy. But some Jafar are dead and you don't even flinch. You got something against Jafar? Raises an eyebrow? I don't know, man. Maybe. Jacob suggests using a memory recall device on the Krull Warrior, whatever. I was gonna suggest that. I was. You can't tell me I wasn't. Like hell I can't, but I'll believe you this time. This one time, okay. Yeah, Tartarus fruits, not TARDIS. I know, it's a joke. Also, considering we've once made a map that answered this very question, the Doctor comes from a planet called Gallifrey. Yeah, I had to look that up. But I see the joke. Funny. It's a box. Can't wait to tell my friends, but they don't have a box this big. Oh, you got a big box, Fruits. Okay, yep, I gotta admit, I'm kinda jealous now. Fucking dickhead. What the fuck? Odd scene, O'Neill goes over to Carter's lab to say that he's off to save Daniel. It's like they're saying goodbye, just in case. I don't think they normally do that. It makes me wonder if there was anything behind it, or if maybe they just needed to fill some extra time in the episode. I don't know, maybe they had an alternate ending to this episode that they were thinking about doing or something. I don't know. Yeah, that looks like ancient writing on that box. Are we supposed to assume that Bill taught this rebel leader how to read ancient and how to operate the box? Because that seems a bit far-fetched to me too. Yeah, I don't know, man. Not sure why Jacob took off his armor. You'd think that you'd keep that shit on since it makes you pretty much invulnerable to everything. But the Cold Warriors are basically mindless drones. For Jacob to be walking around in full armor, he'd have to have a pretty good reason to be going places, because a Cold Warrior wouldn't just be walking around without heading directly to a assigned location. I mean, he doesn't have to pretend to be a Cold Warrior. You can just wear the armor. I mean, there's, like, he's walking around anyways. Like, what? Like, what would be the difference? The difference is that he would have armor on that would be really good. Like, that's literally the only thing that would make a difference. My nose is itchy. Anyways, we have an episode to get into.
This is Prometheus, otherwise known as the X-303. Jump must have triggered a power surge that overloaded the reactor control systems.
Finally gonna do something with this. It's been stranded since last season.
Even if we were to plot a course for Earth using maximum sublight thrust, it would take years.
P3X744. If we can make it there and get home, we can get what we need to repair the ship.
They have, thing is voiceover.
What's our progress?
Well, sir, we covered 49 light years in the last leg. Considering the hyperdrive we're using was lifted from an Alcash, I'd say that's pretty good. It was originally designed for a ship 1/10 this size.
Only 5 more of these pit stops and we're home.
Colonel, a bogey
No, you shouldn't have said that.
Sensors, dead ahead 3,000 clicks.
You jinxed it!
Can you identify it?
Negative, sir. It's closing in on our position very quickly.
Sound general quarters.
Bogey is now at 2,000 clicks.
Raise shields, arm weapons.
Why do I feel like this turned into a Star Trek episode? I have no idea.
Sir, thermographic sensors are showing a rapid buildup of energy coming from within the ship. Energy buildup is continuing, sir.
They're powering up weapons. Colonel, we have to get out of here.
Initiate evasive maneuver Delta now.
Shields are down 69%. Their weapons are draining our shields.
Weapons officer, prepare to return fire on my command.
Half missile bays 1 through 6 loaded and ready, sir.
Fire 1 through 4 now.
Sir, missiles destroyed before reaching the target.
Alien vessel is still gaining on us, sir. Shield strength is at 32%.
Fire all missiles at will.
What?
Wait. Suggest diverting auxiliary power back to the sublight engines.
Major?
The gas cloud, if we can get inside it, it might make it harder for them to track us.
Shields are below 15%.
Even with sublight engines at full strength, we'll never make it.
It might be possible to make a small hyperspace jump into the cloud. Just give me a few minutes to override the safeguards.
You have 2.
Sir, weapon systems are no longer operational.
Shields are below 10%.
Okay. some kind of a dream episode. Oh wait, I already have a theory. But I mean, we've already had that type of, my theory in my head. We've already had that type of episode, but it's just kind of reminding me of other shows.
Bridge, please respond.
Oh my god! It's Sasha Peters. I don't know. Alison De Laurentiis from Pretty Lies. She's such a baby here.
This is Major Samantha Carter of the United States Air Force vessel Prometheus. As the sole remaining crew member of the ship, I feel compelled to keep a log of these events. After being attacked by a hostile alien ship, I sustained an injury and lost consciousness. Based on the fact that all the ship's escape pods have been jettisoned, I can only assume an evacuation order was given after my losing consciousness. In the chaos that must have ensued, I was left behind. The sublight engines remain offline. I'm guessing it is something about the gas cloud that is prohibiting the restart procedures. Thus far, I have been unable to find a way around this problem. Without sublight engine power to maneuver the ship out of the cloud, I'm left with only one other option.
Major Carter, hear me. You must remain conscious at all costs.
I just need to rest for a while.
You cannot. Listen to me. You are injured. If you sleep, you will die. Do you understand?
Okay.
If you sleep, you will die.
Thus far, sensors have been unable to identify the actual content of the cloud itself. It's more likely made up of a denser group of gases than that of a typical nebulae or gas giant. Bottom line is, it's preventing the hyperdrive emitter from transferring power at an even rate. Until that changes, the Prometheus will remain trapped here indefinitely.
Yep, I'd say you're stuck all right. Oh, come on, Sam. We're running the same diagnostic program for 4 hours now. What makes you think the results are suddenly going to change? Sam! Hello?
Were you this annoying when you were ascended?
I don't know, depends on who you ask. I thought I had a certain je ne sais quoi. Timing was so-so.
No offense, but I really don't have time for this. This is ridiculous. You aren't even real.
Well, I'm not so much me as I am you. I mean, part of your subconscious mind. So am I real? That's up to you, I guess. Although the Socratic implications of my being here are quite fascinating.
Daniel.
Look, you just need some help, that's all. Can you just try to go along with this?
You're me talking to me.
Yeah, basically.
Might as well work the problem.
All right. You have a point. I could use some help.
Thank you.
Okay, what do you... I want?
Well, I think you're going about this all wrong.
This is helping?
Come on, Sam, you've been looking forward to studying this gas cloud for weeks now. I mean, isn't that the real reason you volunteered for this job in the first place? Now you're here, finally here, and you're wasting your time running endless hyperdrive simulations.
In case you hadn't noticed, I've got a small problem on my hands, Daniel. Mainly that I'm stranded.
Inside the very thing you've been looking at through a telescope for years. Come on, it's a chance to study something rare and exciting up close. Seize the moment.
Seize the moment?
No, I'm just saying it's something new, something we've never encountered before. You're ignoring it. Does that sound like you?
This is a weird episode. You can't get a grasp at what's going on.
Oh, hey. You heard about Sam?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound good.
18 hours past due for contact. Yeah, I'd say something went wrong.
Well, anyways, I put together a list of planets with Stargates in range for the Prometheus route.
I always wonder, can't you just contact the Asgard? They can teleport to wherever the fuck you are.
If something went wrong,
We've seen it.
Gate.
At which time they would gate home, wouldn't they?
Well, when the hyperdrive failed in the Prometheus maiden voyage, you were nearly stranded on a piece of an X-009 because they didn't know where their Stargate was.
Sounds like a long shot.
When the blazing sun is gone, when he nothing shines on.
Who are you? What do you want?
Then you show your little light, twinkle, twinkle, all the night. Come on, this way.
Wait.
Samantha.
Well, she's disappeared.
See?
I'm not gonna see it for 5 seasons.
Of course you didn't.
I'm here to warn you.
I know. I have to stay awake.
That's not all. Everything may not be as it seems.
Well, thank you. But the fact that I'm talking to someone who isn't really here kind of speaks to that.
On the contrary, I think it's you that's not here.
What are you talking about?
I believe that you and the other crew members are being held prisoner aboard the alien vessel that attacked you.
How do you know?
It is possible they are probing your mind. If so, any information obtained may be used to attack Earth.
Even if you're right and I'm not really here, what am I supposed to do about it?
Nothing.
I'm not sure how much longer I can last. My only hope of survival is to somehow get the Prometheus free from this gas cloud without using either the sublight or hyperdrive engines. I think I've come up with a way. It has its risks. By venting several levels worth of pressurized atmosphere, I am hoping to generate enough propulsion to move the ship. Come on. No!
Oh, it's fine. She's fine. She'll come back in 5 seasons.
Hello?
Hey! Have I, told you my latest theory yet? It's really cool. Lose something?
Did you see a...
Little girl?
Yeah.
No. You don't look so good.
Yeah.
Anyway, about my theory. Now, what if this cloud isn't so much a collection of corrosive gases as it is a sentient being? Saying the cloud is alive, Sam.
The cloud is alive?
Yeah, it's a sentient being, like
Not that far-fetched.
feelings, memories, space.
With the shit that's happened in this show.
If you will.
That's crazy.
Well, why else would be corroding the ship?
Because the gases are corrosive?
Or maybe we somehow offended it when we flew inside of it.
Offended
The
it.
thing is, if we talk to it, maybe it'll let us go.
You want me to talk to the cloud?
Would it kill you to try?
And how would I do that?
Well, you said there's this little girl running around the ship. Maybe that little girl is the physical personification of the cloud. No, just go with me on this. Maybe that's its way of trying to communicate with us.
Eat. You need to keep your strength up.
Do you have a name?
I'm Grace.
Who are you?
You know.
No, I don't know.
I'm your father.
Dad?
I know it sounds corny. But you get to an age where you think about everything you did wrong as a parent. Don't take this the wrong way.
I know. I don't look so good.
I wanted so many things for you, Sam. And look what it's brought you instead.
Sure. The massive headache really takes the edge off it all.
Are you happy, Sam?
What?
Just answer the question.
Well, at the moment things are a little rough, but in general, sure, I'm happy.
No, you're not. You're content. You're satisfied.
What's wrong with that?
You're in control. And that's the problem.
Okay. I'm really not following you here.
I'm saying you're missing something vital from your life. And the sad part is you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Dad, I am happy. I've seen and done things most people couldn't even dream of. I have an incredible life.
And yet you're alone.
Well, lately the dating scene's been a little stale, but then again, I am marooned on a spaceship.
No. Always. For as long as she was alive, your mother showed me a world beyond just ambition and career. She gave me and balance. And it was my honor to love her for the short time she was with me. And if I were young again, and I met her for the first time, even knowing her fate, I would do it all over again. That is love. I know you've denied yourself the experience because you think it must inevitably end in pain and loneliness. It's time to let go of the things that prevent you from finding happiness. You deserve to love someone and be loved in return.
Not where I thought this episode was going.
Report, Colonel. This one was a bust too, sir. In fact, these folks were more in the dark than the first bunch.
They were indeed a primitive society.
They hadn't seen any sign of the ship. We're 0 for 7 on this, sir.
Heard from the Tok'ra?
Well, they've completed an initial trace of the Prometheus's route. There's no sign of it at any of the designated cooldown coordinates.
You're assuming they stayed on course.
Well, they're currently expanding their search, conducting long-range scans of several systems adjacent to the route home.
Well, hopefully they're looking up as well, because they don't do that sometimes.
I don't want to hear it. Good. Because I'm not in the mood.
All right, what? When Colonel Mayborn and yourself were stranded off-world, Major Carter felt a similar sense of frustration. She despaired at the thought of never seeing you again.
Not you?
Indeed. You are like a brother to me, O'Neill.
You're like what? 140?
A younger brother, perhaps. But that is not my point.
Look, T, I know what you're trying to do. And I appreciate it.
They haven't really touched upon, like, their connection in a long time.
Wanna try? It's fun.
I remember when I was a little girl, I used to wonder how a bubble could exist. I see there's this thing called surface tension, when molecules bind together in a certain way.
Boring. Here, just try it. See? Fun.
All right, Carter, come on your feet. Let's go.
I was wondering when you were going to show up.
You just gonna sit there?
Too tired, sir.
Samantha, I'm a figment of your imagination. You're gonna call me sir?
Old habit, sorry.
So you gonna save yourself or what?
I tried.
You'll think of something.
Came to give me a pep talk.
That's what friends are for.
Friends.
Hey, this is you talking here. Might as well be honest.
What if I quit the Air Force? Would that change anything, or is it just an excuse?
I would never ask you to give up your career.
Because you don't feel anything for me?
Carter,
I'd let you go right now if I knew.
that easy?
I didn't say it would be easy.
Then what's stopping you if you really want to know?
I'm trying.
Maybe it's not me that's the problem here. Let's face it, I'm not that complex.
Me?
Sam, I'm a safe bet.
As long as I'm thinking about you, setting my sights on what I think is unattainable, there's no chance of being hurt by someone else.
Jacob was right. You deserve more. I will always be there for you, no matter what. Believe me.
So what now?
Go save your ass.
One last thing. Never mind. What do you want?
What do you mean?
Whoever you are, I know why everyone else keeps showing up. Why are you here?
I don't want anything, but you do. Then that traveler in the dark thanks you for your tiny spark. How could he see where to go if he did not twinkle so? What you looking at?
It's complicated.
Try me.
I'm gonna try to save myself with a bubble.
How?
The hyperdrive won't fully engage because of the cloud, but maybe it doesn't have to. If I can dial down the power flow to the hyperdrive emitter, theoretically I should be able to cause a partial shift into hyperspace, essentially taking the ship out of the cloud's space-time. Hopefully just enough to eliminate its effects on the sublight engine.
Neat.
Yeah.
I believe she's attempting to rescue her fellow crew members.
What, from them? That's crazy. Get back to Earth and then bring in the cavalry.
There's no time.
I agree. The alien vessel is too formidable.
Will you guys shut up? Just let her work.
This is a very odd episode.
This is Major Samantha Carter of the U.S. Air Force vessel Prometheus. I'm thinking you've been stuck in here just as long as I have. The only difference is, I found a way out. Here's the deal. Return my crew, everyone, intact, and let us go. And I'll help you get out of here. Do we have a deal?
What the hell just happened?
Good
It's a long
fucking
story,
question.
sir. Just bear with me.
Now what?
We see if they keep their end of the bargain.
Well done, Major.
Sir, with your permission, I'd like to relieve myself of duty now.
Easy. Get her to the infirmary.
Jack?
Excuse me?
Sorry, sir.
Yes, well, a massive concussion will tend to disorient one.
How long was I out there?
It's all relative, Carter, that whole time-space continuum thing.
Sir,
4 days.
I could have sworn it was weeks.
Teal'c and Daniel say hi. They're planning a little bit of a shindig for when you're up and around. There's talk of cake.
Cake?
My idea.
Can't wait.
Need anything? Magazine? Yo-yo?
I'm fine.
Yes, you are.
Thank you, sir.
For what?
Nothing.
Think nothing of it. I've got plenty of that.
Hey, what's up you guys? Quick interruption here. As you are no doubt aware, these past few years have been tough on all of us. And there are some things that none of us can hide from. The cost of living, for instance, food and things like electricity, gas, and water have all gone up and they continue to go up. Now, I don't really like to advertise this, but in order to afford keeping the lights on, the camera running, and to be able to provide you guys with new content like this very edit, for example, I feel I need to let you guys know about how you can help support the channel and myself. I have a Patreon that if you pledge to, you're helping support the channel, and in return you can get a vast amount of content that you wouldn't regularly get on YouTube, such as full unedited reactions to my regular content, a ton of other shows and movies that you probably don't even know that I've reacted to. A link to this can be found in the description below, and it really does help the channel by keeping me and my very cute cats alive. Think of the cats. If you're interested, you can also check out our website, which is also linked below. Perhaps there's some shows and movies there that you didn't even know that I reacted to, but you always wanted to see. Please know, pledging is entirely your own choice, of course. You're welcome to stay here on YouTube and wait for the edits to come out. No worries. I'm not going anywhere. More edits are coming. I understand not everyone is in the position to support creators, but any help is welcome. Anyways, thank you for your continued support, whether it's through YouTube or on Patreon. You guys are the best. Now please, enjoy the rest of the video. Alright, yeah, well that was Stargate SG-1, Season 7, Episode 13. We didn't really get any answers for a lot of things in this episode, like what actually happened? Who Alison De Laurentiis was? I don't know. I like that they touched upon, like, Jack and Sam's relationship, like, their connection. They haven't really done anything with it for, like, a lot of seasons now. And I'm glad that they, like, touched upon it. And it almost seems like maybe she's going to put herself out there. Probably not with Jack, though. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.